something about it, I would think that that would be a good idea. The problem is that the United Nations, which we do have, is totally effective.
Save you time by giving
Save to calculate your savings in 3 easy steps, or call us at 1-833-295-7283 and we'll do it for you.
Hi, I'm Jane King, and thank you for watching. This show is all about public, private, and blockchain companies. We bring you the innovators behind the companies making the headlines in that space. Some are sponsored, some are invited. All are curated and focused on telling you, the viewers, their story. Here we go. Computer hacks have gotten a lot of attention lately, but one company has the technology, an independent platform that may be able to help prevent some of these. And with me to explain more about this is Ilan Gyahi, who is the CEO of GlobalXData. So great to have you with us.
Great to have you, Jane, and hello to everybody who's watching us.
Yeah, so if you could just explain, because of course we went through the Colonial Pipeline situation, there seems like there's a hack, every week. Explain what your company does and how it is different than some of the technology platforms that we're seeing right now.
Sure. So gladly, we are a Swiss-based technology company. I'm from Switzerland myself. We do have operations and a publicly traded company in Canada. And in the US, we have our subsidiary as well. We trade under ticker SwissF. What we do is we developed a suite of communication tools, such as email, messaging, backup, and file share under the brand Secure or Secure Safe. So what Secure does, spelled S-E-K-E-U-R, what we do is we developed a proprietary email system and a proprietary messaging system with privacy and security in mind. Our advantage are the following. For example, we don't use big tech platform, so we're not on Amazon Web Service, we're not on Google or Microsoft Cloud. We've never developed under those platforms. That makes us independent in terms of privacy and also less prone to hacking because we have never developed our code in open source. So that's kind of one of the advantages. And all our data is stored in Switzerland, which gives you the strictest data privacy laws in the world. So if you were a business or somebody who doesn't want to have your data mined, because we don't do data mining at all, you would use maybe secure mail as opposed to Gmail or Office 365. And then definitely you don't want to use WhatsApp when you conduct business. You want to use secure messenger. That's pretty much what we do.
Very interesting. Tell me a little bit about you, your history, and what drew you to privacy.
So I am from Switzerland as well. Swiss people are very private. It's a nature. It's in our DNA. It's in the Constitution. I've had personal experiences with privacy breach, so it kind of drove me into developing these solutions for people who really need some protection. Because our data is out there and it's for sale all the time, there's no service you can go to. I mean, I'm even afraid of giving my email. We all have maybe a couple sets of email, one for the mailing list when you sign up for something, and then you want to have your private email. But what we don't realize is all those other email services, they data mine you. So I wanted to offer, basically, we wanted to be the privacy king when it comes to your data and communication. So we developed the system about 8-10 years ago. in Switzerland, and then we started to push internationally. We have a couple of telecom operators as partners. America Mobile, owned by the Carlos Slim and his family. They have about 300 million subscribers based in Mexico. And then we just signed a deal with IXI Group, which is the largest South Asian telecom operator. And, we're growing the business like that because privacy and security are becoming a big concern. And, I'll address these hacking, the basic concept of how come we hear about all these hacks and email phishing and so forth. The problem is that the big companies, the big three or the big five, you used to have the big three in the auto industry. Now you have the big five in data and digitization. You have Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Facebook Group, which is WhatsApp as well. Mm-hmm. So what they do is they make a lot more money on data mining your data. And it's not like, when you hear about a hacking, it's not like a company is trying to hack you. A company will buy your data. Their priority is to exploit that data within less than 30 days or it becomes stale, and they don't really protect it. And then you have a hacker hacking that business, let's say, that needed to, target you for something. And that's how our data gets leaked out. It may or may not be directly Facebook or Google or Microsoft, even though they also have their breach, but it's all the other companies that buy your data that don't protect it. Yeah. So it's really like a tornado upon another tornado, and it just never stops. Hacking and breaches are not going to stop. They're going to increase. I don't know if some of us know this, but data breach costs the global economy over $6 trillion US a year in lost income or damages. So that's a pretty big economic damage.
Looking forward to more conversations. Thank you so much, Shalom, for coming.
Thank you,
and we'll get updates soon.
Thanks, everyone, for watching.
Petproducts.com. Thousands of products. An Al Simon Wee Pad Inventor Company. ClickStream provides a wealth of information and data that was unavailable just 4 years ago. And with me, CEO Frank Magliochetti to explain what ClickStream is all about, and then we'll go into some more detail about what the company is doing. So, Frank, can we start with an overview of ClickStream?
Sure. Good morning, Jane. So ClickStream is a publicly traded company on the OTC, and basically we're a provider of mobile apps and digital platforms. We essentially either create these apps ourselves or we're opportunistic. We go out and we acquire them from startups or individuals. But usually on the acquisition side, we buy them very early in development. And once they come into our entity, we create value by putting them through our process. And so we incubate these apps, these digital platforms, and as you incubate, you nurture, you develop, and in that sequence, you're creating value.
Okay.
So we're a value creation entity.
Okay. And that's where you gather the data that the apps collect and use for sales or marketing or whatever. Okay.
Yeah. So just a comment, just a moment on that, Jane. So basically we aggregate data to better drive what we're trying to achieve. And that is engagement into our apps and stickiness, right? We want people to come to the app, and then we want them to stay on the app, and we want them to play on the app a lot. So those two things are important to us.
Okay. Now, there's an app, HeyPal, and is that a new app, and will it be launching soon? Can you explain what HeyPal is?
Sure. We're very excited about HeyPal at ClickStream. We acquired the concept about 6 or 7 months ago, and we put it into our development process, and we hope to launch it. And we're very confident that we're going to launch it in June of this year worldwide. We're currently soft launched in about 20 countries, and we'll worldwide launch that in June. So let me tell you a little bit about HeyPal, because it's very disruptive to the learning, to the language learning segment. So as you know, if you want to learn a language, it's basically either you go to class or it's on your computer, and it's very static learning. You know, good morning, good evening, how are you? And it's memorizing phrases and dialogues. What we've done to disrupt that is we're really the Facebook for language learning. So HeyPal, the backbone of HeyPal, is actually a social network. And we've developed technology within that social network that allows you to communicate around the world with anybody that wants to learn a language. So let's just say you live in Spain, I live in the US, and I want to learn Spanish and you want to learn English. We develop a dialogue. It's very dynamic and it's engaging, right? It's interactive. So it's almost, if you think about immersion learning, you're doing that through your social media. So we're talking that it's translating my language into your language into my language. And I'm learning as we're communicating, and we can do it one-on-one. We could have 5 people. We can chat. We can video. So it really turns the language learning business upside down. We see ourselves in schools, where it augments the current curriculum. You join HeyPal and develop a pen pal in Italy and teach, them English, you Italian. And so it's exciting for us. It's very exciting.
Yeah. Now, is it text only, or is there actual video, audio that helps you learn as well? Okay.
Yes. So version 1 is coming out in June, and soon to follow in the early fall is version 2. We are packed with features in both of these. In the fall, we're going to unveil a significant technological breakthrough for language learning using our app. So we're very excited. And this is the first case where we've actually taken a concept, put it into our program development, and we've actually launched a product. And so it's very significant for our company. And I want you to know that every single employee of ClickStream is a shareholder. So so we're very shareholder centric here at ClickStream. We want to create value for the shareholders.
Okay, very interesting. It's an interesting business model, and certainly a growing area. I mean, with data, and they say data is oil, so you're right in the middle of it. So thank you so much. It was great to join us and hear about ClickStream.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jane.
Petproducts.com. Thousands of products. An Al Simon Wee Wee Pad Inventor Company. SoMee is a social media site that pays creators for their content. So with me is an influencer, the head of influencer partnerships, Brad Frank, and then also Ashwin Soma, who is a operations manager at CardStarter. So let's start with you, Ashwin. Just explain what CardStarter is and how it fits into the whole SoMee business model.
Absolutely. So CardStarter is essentially the first decentralized launchpad for Cardano. And that's kind of a mouthful, but really what it does is it helps projects that are up and coming, especially when it comes to blockchain technology, and it makes sure that it can get them a good community to bootstrap their project as it's starting out, and make sure that it can get the appropriate raise and the funds that it needs and the connections that it needs in the space to succeed. Now, what's great about SoMee, to segue into them, is they already have a lot of this done. The benefit there is we're just really helping them kind of perfect and tweak a little bit of their model to make sure that they have the best foot forward, but they already have a wonderful project. So I'd let Brad take it away.
Okay, so let's talk to Brad. So tell me a little bit about where SoMee is. I've talked to some of the influencers on there in the past. How does that stand, and what are you doing to try to kind of build those influencer partnerships and help them grow?
Sure. Thank you, Jane. Well, as you know, SoMee, we're at the culmination of approximately 8 years of development, with the last 2 in beta, which has been extremely successful. In terms of onboarding influencers, this process has really required us to help influencers unlearn what they know about social media to a degree. As you know, the model is social media redefined, privatization, monetization of your content, things of that nature. And, the challenge is always articulating to a influencer culture that has kind of been bred and born on the point, click, pay for click environment. And this is much, much, much more. I mean, by this platform combining elements of mainstream social media and blockchain, we've actually evolved into a whole lot more than we had anticipated. And not only, are we selling the influencer as a game-changing platform that supports social media activity and content, but also looking at it as an ecosystem. Mm-hmm. And one of the driving forces is that, as we had talked about earlier, Jane, there's definitely a new normal now. And for those people that consider themselves influencers, whether they're a micro influencer, a major macro influencer, so on and so forth, with, millions or tens of millions of followers, they always have to be ahead of the curve, because that's, how they make their money. Being able to find new ways and innovative ways to monetize their brand. Well, we found that we've been picking up a great deal of our trajectory is really, really in a good place right now. And we've been, the responses to SoMee have been extremely positive. From my perspective, the challenge and what myself and Kelly Planzo are tasked with is really educating the influencer and really kind of unveiling to them a platform that produces multiple streams of revenue and monetization for them.
Very interesting. So Ashwin, talk a little bit about the IDO process. First of all, what is IDO and what is the process that SoMee is going through with you, right?
Absolutely. So, people all know what an IPO is, I'd like to think. And then in 2017, we have ICOs, and it's essentially an initial decentralized exchange offering. So as we evolve, we realize that it's not just the big boys and girls in Wall Street that, get to invest in these projects as they're exciting. We want it to be as decentralized as possible, meaning everyone, retail investors, folks at home on their smartphones, they should be able to invest in exciting projects such as, for example, SoMee, a social media platform that rewards influencers and rewards users and make sure that advertising revenue actually goes to the user and the influencer as opposed to the company itself. I mean, projects like that make a lot of sense. And why should that not be something that everyone has the ability to invest in? So that's essentially what an IDO is. It's ensuring that folks that are interested in such projects can actually invest early on. Obviously, the biggest thing for us is we make sure that we are completely 100% compliant with SEC regulation to make sure that all the folks that are involved are doing so in a manner that's know your customer, or KYC, and that they're all upfront, and that everything is by the book, which kind of can create some red tape, but we're more than happy to do that because that's really what we believe in. And it makes sure that everyone can participate in exciting projects like SoMee in a safe, but also an equitable manner. So it's not just folks that have connections, but rather anyone in the space that can pick up a smartphone. Yeah. And that's what we, aim to do.
Thank you so much. It's great to get an update from SoMee and see things progressing well. So thank you, Ashwin, and also Brad, for joining us.
Thank you,
for
James.
having us.
Petproducts.com, thousands of products, and Al Simon Wee Wee Pad Inventor Company. Pharmagreen Biotech is specializing in tissue culture starter plantlet production. And so with me is the CEO, Peter Wojcik, to explain exactly what that means. So Peter, I guess just give me an overview. What is Pharmagreen all about?
Yes, Pharmagreen, we're a highly specialized biotech company where we developed proprietary processes to produce starter plantlets for overall the agriculture sector, predominantly the cannabis industry.
Okay. Now you are CEO of the company, or are you a founder? Can you give me some of your background?
Yes, I am the founder as well as the CEO of the company. And what got me involved in this company to get it started, my background is I come from a medical family background, father still practicing cardiologist. Unfortunately, mother contracted stage 4 cancer about 15 years ago, which led me to the development of cannabis extracts, capsulating them and treating the disease. We successfully put her in remission, which started me into the path of getting further involved in this industry and helping individuals.
Interesting. So you have a personal angle here. I mean, was your mother helped by cannabis?
Yes, she was. Actually, the extracts did put her in remission for well over 12 years. The cancer came back. It was fed quite well. But we did, over the last decade, have done on a philanthropic effort to help people and to study the efficacy and dosages as cannabis relates in helping people who are diagnosed with stage 4 cancer.
Okay. Well, I understand that Pharmagreen Biotech is in the business of providing high-quality starter cannabis plantlets. We talked a little bit about this in the intro through the proprietary tissue culture process, Chibafrene. Am I saying that right? And can you explain what that means?
Yes, Chibafrene was developed by Dr. Fazia Freen. The process is brand new to the tissue culture industry. Tissue culture has been around for 40 years, but the innovations that we're doing in the what's called the micropropagation, or the making of the starter plantlets, traditionally a 4-step micropropagation process, Dr. Fazia Freen developed a process where we can do it in 3 stages. What does that mean? It simply means we can produce more plantlets in less space, less time, and therefore at a much more efficient cost basis.
Okay, so that's just the thing. It makes the process much more efficient to help with the business.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And why is tissue culture better than farmers just using seeds or clones?
Tissue culture is it's a scientific process, whereas seeds, if you grow the seeds, they're all never the same. There is a genetic, what we refer to as genetic drift when you're developing seeds. With clones, they are done in the greenhouse type matter, and they're basically cloning method is taking the tips of a living plant material and taking the tips. A good analogy is like cut yourself once it hurts, cut yourself 500 times and you'll go into septic shock. Well, the same thing occurs to a living plant. Tissue culture is done with 0 stress factors because it's done in a clean room lab environment, and therefore whether you make 1 or 2 of them, they're all, or a trillion of them, they're always the best genetics that science can provide.
Then how many of these starter plantlets can you produce and sell in the biotech complex that you're building?
We can produce hundreds of thousands of plantlets, and we also built the facility in such a way that it's scalable. So as the demand grows, we can grow with the demand and provide much larger supply.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Peter. Best of luck.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Have a great day.
Petproducts.com, thousands of products, and Al Simon Wee Wee Pad Inventor Company. IXI Capital is back to explain more about the launch of their new coin, which is one of the big updates that we will have since we last spoke. So with me, SoMee, and then also Doug Messer with the company. So welcome both of you. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Pleasure seeing you again.
So,
Jane, how are you?
I'm good. So thank you. So SoMee, let's start with you. So I know we talked a little bit about the coin ICO. So bring us up to date, because that's been a big development since we spoke last time.
Yes, we have all the geologists at the site right now. They're pinpointing all the places that we're going to send our caterpillars and also all the trucks to start extracting very soon. So we're super excited. And the other thing we forgot to mention last time was is like the ETF of metals we have, and the product that we have we're really proud of is really rhodium. Rhodium is right now selling at $29,000 an ounce, and it's becoming a very hot commodity because of the environmental controlists, and basically they use it for all car manufacturers. They use it in their catalytic converters, and so it's the value is really high. And we just issued our coin, so Doug is the genius behind it. And it's called minetokens.io, where they can start purchasing it's a ICO, initial coin offering that we have done.
Okay, well, let's bring Doug in then. So
yes.
Created the coin, or kind of explain your role in all of this.
Absolutely. So I really worked with Ali and the team at IXI Capital to not only really help with the strategy behind the token economics that goes into developing an STO. Sorry, correct, but it is a securities token offering. But as Chief Strategy Officer, essentially I'm working on a daily basis to be really showcasing the STO opportunities to a variety of investors, given its base right here in the United States. It's a very exciting opportunity, and once the mine finishes phase 1, we will soon be one of the top 3 largest producing mines in the United States.
Okay, so this is a token that is attached to the mine, which is actually producing rhodium.
Correct. And also we give 10% interest per annum to all our clients, which we transfer it to all the shareholders. They'll be able to receive that in their account. Our assets, we have plenty of gold and platinum, but it's really more of a deco.
Oh, wow, that's an interesting idea. So will you both come back once you get the sale going? And
exactly, we're quite excited.
Yeah.
We hope to have a shot down at the mine to be able to show all your wonderful viewers what this
I've
operation
never
looks like.
been in a mine before, like a real mine. So
that's right. This is so it's going to be exciting.
Yeah. Good luck. Well, thank you so much, and best of luck.
Thank you so much.
We'll catch up again soon.
Jane, thank you so much for having us as always.
In the middle of the business day, anything can happen.
We are invested in your success. The goal